but we're always here for you. You know, if it's an emergency, we love getting an email or a text or a call. Is this real when it comes to scam emails and texts? Do I really need McAfee? Is this, you know, so on and so forth. So you have us in between, and I'll put our information in the chat in a moment. So I'm going to share the screen, and we'll start with our tech agenda for the day. Here we are. I think I saw Dusty in the room. Dusty will man the chat and also answer questions. So you can ask questions in the chat. So how it works, today's just the beginning. You're part of the Lacers Tech family now. We're going on like 4 years, second year online or third year online completely. So there's always answers. You always have some relief down the line. And there's no cost. And you can meet with us privately on Zoom as well. For many people, sometimes people struggle getting onto mylacers.org. We can have a one-on-one session. It's provided through Lacers with us, just like this. Just you and us, if there's information you want to share with class. Today we have some great questions that came in. Over the month, people send me questions. We really got some juicy ones. And one we've wanted to share. This one came from Robin. Can you recommend a small security camera for my apartment door that does not need to be wired? And the answer is yes. And we're going to review that. We'll go over that in more detail. Second question is from Marietta. I'd like to know, how do I determine the best time to upgrade my 2015 Mac laptop? Do I wait till it breaks down? Which, of course, I thought, like, do I wait till my 73 Chevelle breaks down on the 101 on Friday at 6 o'clock? These are hard things to know because it's expensive. And how do you, will just clearing space alone make a computer, go longer and about the amount of years? And there's statistics for this, Marietta, about how long a computer lasts, and we'll talk about those. The group does a project every year. Last year, we built a password saver, which is available still to everyone. It's a sheet. We can email you, and you can pop your passwords in, and it repeats itself. It's a pretty cool list, and I think people have been using it. Maybe it's a beginner's list, so you can at least begin to start gathering and harvesting all your various passwords in one place. I'll go over that in class, but that is probably the biggest time loser and frustration point when you don't have your passwords or your two-factor authentication organized. This year, we're building a website. We're building a website, Wisdom for Retirees. The point of this is that it's easy to do, it's free, and it's in your Google. If you have a Gmail, you have this app available, and you can build things like somebody's quinceañera or a memorial or a wedding or a family trip, and just build a website. Instead of having to send 30 family members pictures of the event, you can have one central place for them to go. And it's easy and sort of fun. We'll spotlight some scam busters. We got a bunch of scams coming in, hot and large. You are the target group, retired, Social Security, some assets, and you've been around a while, so your information is there on the internet, and you are the target group. Seniors are the target group. We'll talk about Google AI. It's available to you, and I have been using it, and I'll talk about that. You're going to be out and about now. It's springtime, so hopefully you'll be doing things. You might be on public Wi-Fi networks. The classic is like Starbucks, or you could just be at a friend's house using their Wi-Fi up in the Hollywood Hills where there's no cellular connection. Where is it safe? How do you detach from that network when you finish using it? If we have time, we'll talk about sending email pics and videos the easy way. No more of those too large files. Some Google apps. How to keep your tech clean. I mean, you're out there in the world, you're touching stuff. I think like the quarantine, washing your hands 14 times a day thing has left a lot of people. It's still important to keep that phone clean. We talk about some telemedicine. We'll have our tech Jeopardy and trivia, and then some open topics, and then we'll talk about next month and some topics. So I think I'd like to begin with the camera. Who has a security camera right now in their place? Just like a Ring or something, not a fancy, big, fat wired system. Who has a camera in somebody else's home that you keep an eye on? Just so there's a little camera there, so you keep an eye on that somebody didn't slip, not too intrusive. Who thinks these are expensive, involved projects to go put a little security camera on your front door in the living room? Because they're not. They're really, really affordable. And I don't use the word easy, simple to use. Really, all you need is a telephone that you can download an app. When I say app, does everybody know what I mean? When I say download an app on your phone, if you're an Apple person, you go to the App Store. If you're a Google person, you go to the Play Store, and that's where you get your little apps. Netflix, Zoom, this, that, the news, the LA Times, whatever you're reading. You can download an app related to that product. So I'm going to give you an example right here of what it looks like. This is, first I'm going to share my screen. And these, I'm going to show you two different views here. So this is the camera I bought for really affordable. You can even go to like Staples or Best Buy. They're almost impulse items now. They're not even, expensive, fancy things anymore. This one is called a Blink camera. It's from Amazon. Amazon makes it. And this is the one. And you plug it in. This one is an indoor cam. You can get one for the outdoors as well. That's battery pack. That's what it looks like. Put it on a shelf. It's got a wire that you just plug it in. After you install that, how the flow works is you plug it in somewhere, you give it a few moments to warm up. Then you download the application. Sometimes the application, in this case for Blink, could be Ring, could be another product. It'll ask you to sign in, maybe create a password. It'll ask you to link your camera, and it'll guide you through easy steps. One step is even to hold the phone of the camera over a little barcode that's on the back of that camera. A few steps later, it shows up in your little app, and you can point it and aim it everywhere. To illuminate on that, let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to do something right here from my phone. So I'm not going to show you her, but my mom is 89, still lives alone. Recently had a slip, and the camera came in very handy for many reasons, and I'll show you why. Okay. Let me let myself in the phone with my Elijah's cool flip phone. Right. Let's share this. Oh, let me fix something here. Here we go. All right, so now you can see the front of my camera, my phone. This is my Android. On here, I'm going to go to an app called Blink. You see on the upper left that blue Blink over there? That's in this case the app that you would use. I've set these cameras up, and there are 3 views. I won't show you my mom live, but that's the living room, a hallway view with a bathroom on one side and a bedroom on the other side, like a slip zone that you would think. And the other one is the bedroom. So I know there'll maybe be nobody there right now. I'll show you a live view. And there's audio. So I'm getting audio. I can hear the news on CNN at volume 400 right now. And so that's my view. I can go back. I'll show you just for example, just the clarity and how simple it is. I think there's anybody in there. Yes, a bedroom. And the camera must have gotten moved. So you can sort of peek in there. You have to develop that trust. And the other one is the living room where I was right now, so I won't show that to you. It's as simple as that. The other one that I have in my location where I am right now, so even when I'm not here, I could just check on the place. I used to have a cat. And so I'd watch my cat through the camera and even talk to him through the camera. And that one is a different product called Casa, K-A-S-A. And I got that at Best Buy, and it was pretty affordable. And I just got one. This is not a big office I'm in now. So maybe you can see, there's my view. Right, you can see my hand waving. And that's the student.
Elisha, do you need one camera per room?
So each of those I showed you was a single camera. So depending on the room or the space, and my mom lives now in a 1-bedroom place. No, not like a big house. So it's the main room, the living room that I didn't show you, the bathroom and the hallway. I could get another one for the kitchen, and we've talked about the kitchen because that's a slip zone. So it'd be one camera for each location that you want. And you can grow, like you can try 1 or 2 and see if they're good. In my case, I have 2 brothers and we're all watching the camera, and that's how we caught her slip. She refused to wear the lifeline. We had got her the thing around the neck, and we'd say, "Why aren't you wearing that?" She'd say, "Well, it's right over there if I need it." Like that was the line for 5 years. And then when you needed it, that sort of woke everybody smiling because they've got somebody in their life that says the same thing. So yeah, anyway, that was the point. The camera really came in handy. It's just also sort of comforting to have it there. Any questions about those? Really
About them getting hacked.
say that?
What about the possibility of them getting hacked?
Yeah, I mean, that could happen, I guess, but it's pretty safe. It's pretty encrypted as far as these things go. It works on your Wi-Fi network. So in your home or the person's home, it's all going to work on that. I see some questions I'll answer. It's all going to work on the Wi-Fi you have on that property. Right. So if you have a Wi-Fi and your password is 123 hashtag C6947, la la la, the other person would need that to be able to get on the Wi-Fi. So I don't think it's more or less hackable than anything else these days.
Okay, Elijah, I do have a question. So,
Please, please.
this is Beverly Clark, and
Hi,
you were,
Beverly Clark.
how are you? So you were mentioning the battery pack, and I think that Ring has wired battery and then wireless.
Mhm.
So which one are you suggesting, the battery pack
If
as
if
opposed to the
you have,
wireless?
right. So if they're wired, there's a cable, and somewhere there needs to be a power cord, right? In some
Right,
places, they're just not. Like maybe if it's on a back patio, I've done them. There's plenty of power cords back there. You can run them, and they're safe. They're not.
right.
Somebody's just not going to plug them. But sometimes they're just weird corners, and there's nowhere near there. And who wants to pay that electrician to come run a proper,
Yeah.
D line, safe the proper way to the door? You can just buy a battery pack. So
Okay, because I have one, it's rechargeable, and then I have a friend that has battery and she hates the battery.
yeah, well, it's
So I
an
was
extra step. It definitely is. Like if it's wired, Beverly, it's so nice that you're just done with it. But that being said, you know, it's an option.
Mhm.
So it's when it's working, I've seen no difference in usability. But you do have to change the batteries every so often.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if you understand my question. It's not really the wired, is there wireless and then battery pack?
So they're all wireless
Yes,
rings and cameras. There's no cable anymore, like a phone cable. They are
understood.
all dependent on your Wi-Fi. So they're all
Right.
wireless products. That's
Okay,
the beauty of that. How you charge them, of course, one could be plugged into a wall or a battery pack. But the product
okay,
alone, you don't wire into a phone line or your Ethernet
right,
cable.
yeah,
Anything like that.
yeah,
That's the magic
that,
of them.
yeah, that's understood. I was just asking the difference between the battery pack and just the rechargeable. That was my question.
Yeah, I prefer if I could wire them in, so it's done. You never have to think about it. But in my front door here, it's too much, so I just use the battery pack. I'm not willing to drill holes and run a cable to that door.
You're not, yeah, I think we're still on a different page, but it's okay, we'll
No,
move
tell me,
on.
Beverly, I'm trying to get you.
Because it's just, I was trying to understand the difference between the battery pack as opposed to just the rechargeable. Is that the same thing?
That's the same thing, battery check.
Okay, that's all I needed.
But let's make it more curious now. So now, Ring, when they started, you'd have to buy the battery pack that you pull out, you plug in a charger somewhere else, and you put back in. Now they actually make
That's
one.
what I have.
So now they make a Ring doorbell that you can actually sort of snap off by hand. It sort of fixes, and you stick the whole thing in a charger. So the rechargeable battery
Okay, yeah,
lives
so there is,
within the Ring. It's
okay,
newer.
okay,
Yeah, so that's a third wheel of Ring. The actual product you
okay.
can pull down. Mhm.
Now we're on the same page. We got it.
I knew we'd
Okay,
get there.
thank you.
So you remember this?
Yes.
Here you go. There's more. There's no battery in here.
Yes,
And
mine was
on
in
the bottom,
yellow.
that's where the volume control is. That's where the
I
volume.
still
control
have
is.
one.
That's why. And by the way, I tried an experiment. I plugged it into my digital line, the one here, like the one that's provided by the cell phone company, and it worked. I could call the number and it actually rang and worked. Pardon me, I could call out on it, but no phone call could come in because it's a digital signal.
What about WhatsApp?
So WhatsApp, you can do just as well. I use WhatsApp, but the other person needs to be on WhatsApp as well to be able to
Okay.
communicate. So you and I, Lisa, can communicate. I'm a big WhatsApper. We use it for my shop, so it separates my normal text messages from business messages. Like we can have a different thing, but that means if I was going to communicate to Susie Gomez or Pat Avalos, I love saying names, or Pornweepa, let's see some, or Mel Vereen, that's a good name. Then Mel Vereen would need to be on the WhatsApp as well.
Right.
You know, she would have to download it to be signed in and be a member as well. Then we could communicate nonstop all day
I
long.
don't think that there's any charge for WhatsApp.
No, there's no
Yeah.
charge.
Right.
All the only charge is signing
What
up.
about,
you know,
what
giving-
about
giving
Google Voice?
You know, I love Google Voice. It works very well, and it's a great part of Google, but I find that for some reason it hasn't really attracted the market, Peter. You know, it just has not become like Zoom or WhatsApp. For some reason, you know, Google Meet is a great way to do what we're doing on here now, and it's Google, but for some reason, you don't know why didn't it take over the imagination of the public? And it's just not as common. So you know, with that, who pays with Venmo or Zelle? I'm just using that for an example. So, you know, I go with the most popular one. Most people want Venmo or Zelle. So that's the one I use, you know, just to make it easier, if that makes sense. There seems to be
Elijah.
movement in this, the marketing of these tools. Yes.
Elijah, what about Signal? They said Signal is more secured
So
than
there's
WhatsApp.
a million of them now.
Yeah,
right?
but Signal, you have to be encrypted. The other person has to have Signal.
They both have to have Signal. They all work the same way. And then, you know, most of these are marketing tools.
Now, I was kicked off Signal
If you
because
don't watch it, Peter, we're gonna kick you out of Lacer's retiree tech class with that attitude.
okay.
That's funny, Peter.
No, but,
Peter's our hero. Peter's our class hero.
No, but
Yeah, we don't want to
no,
know why,
no.
though. We don't want to know why.
now they were kicking off people using it unencrypted
Yeah.
Signal. It's now the other person has to have Signal for it to
You know, there's so many
communicate.
of those. The other tools people use, here's some new words for your brain. Maybe they're not new. Have you heard of Discord or Slack? These are communities. Imagine we can all have a Discord channel together and we could all just communicate, call each other all day long. You just go to like a Facebook page kind of thing. But the communication tools are really strong. In those things, you can also play games together. We have some other.
Let's go back to Windows 10 and Windows 11 for just a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Because my desktop is a Windows 10, and we're speaking of updates. It says it cannot update. So I get that message quite a bit on my desktop. I'm on my laptop now. It's a Windows 11. There's no problem. It automatically. So I think it's already becoming obsolete. Yes.
You know, it's still, you know, a product becomes obsolete when the company that manufactures it doesn't make updates to that product anymore. Microsoft is
Okay.
making updates to Windows 10 and they have a gazillion users from hospitals to like they have a lot of serious people on Windows 10. But you will get a notice years in advance, by the way. It'll be 3 years. Let's say on March 29th, 2028, we will be ceasing support for Windows 10. So I haven't seen that anywhere yet. But in Windows 7, everybody got that notice of that, you know.
I'm getting a notice that you can't update to Windows 11, but that has to do with the fact that you don't have a TPM chip, maybe, which is an encryption thing on your motherboard, which is keeping it from going to Windows 11. It's something that's required by the new operating system, unfortunately.
It means the hardware won't go up to the latest operator. It means you're flying coach on the next trip, Beverly, because you have money to do a new computer. You can't do the update to the extra leg room because you could use that money to buy a computer. You know what I mean? So that's yes, it means that physical computer does it right. They make them more secure, or who knows what they're making them. But there's no way to jiggle that around and install something to make it go a little further.
And
I'm in my Google world. Do you see that box of dots? That's called your waffle. Underneath your waffle, you have all sorts of applications that we've talked about. You have a word processor, you have an Excel sheet, you have a million things. You don't have to pay Microsoft any longer. One of them is Google Sites. You can build your own website. So we're going to open Google Sites. And we have been working, that was our password saver we built last year. Now we're working on this site right over here. And this is the back end. And we're making, just for fun, How to Retire Happy, a short guide by Lacer's retirees. How it looks when we're done is you come up here, there's a couple tabs. You have a home button and what to do in your first 30 days. And you go down here, and here's your guide. Step number 1, On your first 30 days, take a walk. Step number 2, go back to sleep. 3, eat. 4, go back to sleep. 5, think about dinner. 6, take a nap. 7, see how much you have to give the grandkids this month. 8, meet your friend for dinner and make sure she doesn't think you're paying. 9, stay up late wondering why you got an email from PayPal. However, we're going to put actual serious thoughts on here. In the first 30 days, we gathered 2 so far. The first one was on my very first day of retirement. I got up extra early. It felt good to know I didn't have to be somewhere to just feel that. The other one we got was, I had wanted to clean the garage for 17 years and really thought about and decided, nah, that's the last thing I want to do with my retirement. And that was 4 years ago. So the concept is you can go into Google Sites, you can go and create a wedding event. Now we have the wedding event. The wedding's going to be, it's going to be in, let's say we're going to do it in a June bride, June 15th, 2024, Maria and Mike. And then you could be dropping pictures and stories in here all the way along. You can replace, all these are replaceable. So this could be for any event. And you can make it a 1-page thing, or you can make it several pages. You could be videos in here. And then when you're done, you get to publish that. Pretty easy. We're going to call this Maria and Mike's wedding. It makes you your very own web page. It's your very own, and we're going to go look at that web page. And now you're going to send a link to this, and here's what you've built. There's the wedding. They have a wedding, pictures from the wedding party, what the weekend event was like, off to be married, to the honeymoon. You can even put a gift registry for, that kind of thing. You can link things like that. And you can do this after the wedding and just have your pictures on here. It's a really good, simple tool. It's something you can all do. It's not, it's something you want to do. And it can be used for more than just a memorial or a remembrance or a celebration. You could do your small business, so-and-so's proofreading or whatever. It could be as simple as a 1-page thing you can then share with people. Jeanette, you have a question?
I'm sorry, did I miss the class when you went through it step by step, or are you going to go through it step?
I'll go through it more step by step. I'm sort of giving an overview, Jeanette, that you can go and create a blank page, populate it with anything you want. You can call it Jeanette's trip to Italy, or whatever you're doing. Could be Lacer's excursion to Laguna Beach, whatever focus it's on. It could be anything. It could be a business, memories, so on and so forth. It could be a legal page. You're fighting the HOA and you want to put pictures up how they're not painting like you just do it for anything. And so you can compile all that data and all those thoughts that you want to share on any given subject in one place. And then get it out to everybody with just sending them a link, a cut and paste little link, click here. And by the way, you can take it down. You can change the pictures. You can leave it up for 3 months. And when it's over, it doesn't cost you anything to make this tool. It could just be, I for whatever it's worth, we get a lot of them were memorials for people that just want in perpetuity. I had one we did for like a pet. We had a pet opossum. The person had a pet opossum since they were a baby, and they made a website in remembrance of like Krusty, the pet opossum. What are you laughing at, Beverly? I'm not retired. And so, point is, it's a tool. Now, some of these tools are worth playing with because you can't hurt the computer. In the old days, you'd work on something for 2 hours and you click a button and it was all gone. You can go into Google, and let's talk about how we do that for you people. Who likes Google? Who feels Google like I feel Google? It's free, it's easy, it's portable, it's egalitarian, which means there's one Google Sites, there's one Google Docs. So whatever side of town, whatever school district you're in, the kids are doing the same project. Rathma, you had your hands up.
I was asking, is there a Google thingy that'll make me do a newsletter?
Yeah, this would be a perfect newsletter, but there are other ways. I'm opening Google. Oh, look at that, the happy young couple. All right, let's get rid of them. So if I go into Google here, This is what a Google homepage looks like. You have to be signed in. You need an account. So you'll need to create an account. And then you go into these things. These are the tools, just like the apps on the bottom of your screen. In Mac, they call it a dock. That's on the bottom of my screen where you can see buttons. In a Windows, they call it a taskbar. In here, I can make all sorts of newsletters and create different items for newsletters, mini blogs, you might call them, Ratna, that can go out every single day. You can create anything you want. We can go to Google Docs and you can create in the template. Let's find the template gallery. Let's find a different template for a newsletter. Those are just regular letters. Here's a newsletter. You can go and grab a basic template. You can change all those things. We can call this Ratna Jones trip blog. Call this Adventures in
Greece.
Okay. Yeah.
Greece. And this is going to be basic
What time is it?
architecture.
Later. 30
All
minutes.
right. And then you can change these names. You can, create in Crete, so on and so forth. You can save that and you can go right here, make life even easier for you. Complete this document, you save it. Then right from here, if you want to send it to people, you can just start typing people's names in. Dusty. I think Ratna, you might even be in my book. Are you? Yeah, there you go. So I could start sending all these people that newsletter every morning. Then you can even make it more advanced where they can subscribe. So you can have it automatically. When you're done, when you upload a new newsletter, they get it. So then there are other tools besides that one, but that's inside of Google. It's cheap and it's free. And all those tools are in there for you to use. By the way, Google, you've known Google a really long time, people. It's not a new thing. You've known it so long that it was part of your very, very first computer experience. I know it's hard to believe. The very first time you got a big clunky computer, you remember getting AOL online and it went through the phone and it went, had those funny noises, and then it connected and you got out and you went to the browser, the very early browsers. I don't even know what we were looking at back then, but basic stuff. What was the name of the browser? Now you're using Firefox and Chrome and Safari and Edge. What was the name of that browser?
Internet Explorer.
Right.
Netscape.
Oh, yeah.
What company did Netscape eventually become? Google.
Oh, Google.
Same three owners. The same three owners owned it then. They were college kids in a dorm room, skinny nerds in a dorm room. I mean, in the Harvard and Stanford dorm room. But the same owners to this day own it today. What's the name? Larry Brin and Sergey Brin and Larry Ellison. I mean, these are big tech people. So it's been a part of your universe. They've been studying you and your habits for a very long time.
I'm so excited, Elijah. I'm glad you told us about this site. I was going to email Susie.
Susie, that's awesome, Susie.
I have to send out a bunch of pictures for a weekend we had. I was going to email them, but I just went on. Well, you can't see my computer, but I went on the sites. So I'm going to put it on there.
Sort of figure it out. Drop a few pictures in there, make a couple. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, will it take videos?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
now here's where
that's the problem, because videos I could never send them.
But here's where Google earns its money. So we're all wondering, what's in it for me, Google? First of all, you know where Google makes its real money? They sell your information. They sell your information. That's what Google does.
Okay.
So Susie's going on there right now. Susie's making a Google site because Elijah pitched it. Susie's not getting a penny out of it. I'm not getting a penny out of it. But eventually Susie says, this is amazing. And she starts having 5 of these, 6 of these things going. And she has videos on all of them. And they're really wonderful. She's getting better at it. She's learning the little tools and how to do text and all those cool things. And then Google says, that's great, Susie. You've run out of storage. So now it's going to be 99 cents a month. I mean, it seems like small peanuts, and it really is in the scheme of things. Who worked in an office building when you were with the city? Who went into a big office building with lots of file cabinets? I'm sure you all got in a car and drove into an office, Sally, and you have big file cabinets there. And they smelled when you opened them like old paper. All that's gone now. It's all on the computer here. You don't have to go anywhere, Susie. You just have to pay for the storage in the sky, you know, that disappearing storage. I have a topic I want to talk about.
So Elijah,
Yeah, please.
is it at a certain point of storage that they start charging you, or a certain time period? So if you upload information on and you get to just below the storage point, but have it there for 10 years, you're not charged, right?
So yes. So how storage works is this. You're given, if you have a personal Gmail account, I happen to know these numbers. I work with them a lot. Let's say, Jeanette, you have just your Jeanette@gmail.com, the basic one, you signed up, you haven't paid anything extra, you get 15 gigabytes worth of storage. Now, for your average user, that's plenty. You should get fine. But if, you know, Susie puts 3 or 4, 35 to 68, you know, she's got a 17 gigabyte video, it's 7 minutes. You know, it's the grandkid shoving an ice cream cone in at a dolphin, and then the father yelling at the vendor. Like, she's got this funny long video, and you can't miss any of it. It's going to run out of storage quickly, but they'll be really good. They're going to send you a message real fast and say, "Hi, you can do this right now for 99 cents a month." And then, as long as you have that video in there, you'll be paying that 99 cents a month. If you reduce that, and you can reduce it.
Can I delete like older videos and stuff? Like, tell everybody this is only going to be available for 2 months.
Hold on a second. There's somebody.
$6.95 and all that.
Charlie,
Yeah, I just got it right now. It happens. So what were you saying, Jeanette? I'm sorry, I was looking for the name there.
It's Susie.
Susie?
If I just delete older pages, you know, and just tell them up front, these are only going to be available for a month or 2. And I delete the older ones, then I'll always have enough room.
Yeah, you get the game. You get the game.
Okay.
You're right. Exactly. You're just sort of moving stuff around. But I will tell you, for 99 cents a month, you get like a terabyte, and that's just like, you can save everything. This one bypassed my junk filter. You know, most of them go into junk. And this one came in, it came from Castro Lynn. There's my invoice. Looks pretty hokey. Does this look hokey to everybody? Say something if it looks hokey.
Yeah.
Yes.
But maybe not to everyone.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Support number.
And yeah, so can you all hear me? I'm going to try something. I'm going to call that support number and let's see what happens.
oh,
Oh yeah, let's play a game here with them and see if they pick up. A lot of these numbers, they shut off after they scam enough people. So it's over, but I'm going to try this. 5
The
cents.
date is suspicious. Is that legitimate? That says 2030
This
date.
is all scam. Okay, here we go.
at the bottom, the telephone number had an extra digit.
Let's see. Do you hear the phone? Let's see if they pick up. So what's happening now is it's going to different phones far away, looking for a scammer to see who's available. It's like digitizing around if someone's gonna pick it up, but it could be a dead number.
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable.
So what they could have done is shut it off because they're getting 10 billion thousand phone calls. Us, we're going to be here next month, all the way to the end of the year. And you have this class and you can contact us. And if you screw up, we can fix it. But there's somebody that lives next door to you or a friend of yours, your age, somebody that doesn't have this, that can be engaged right now with that scammer. So it's probably the most stubborn friend that won't listen. Oh no, I know, you know, that friend, but you can be an open ear and say, yeah, I'm really being careful with what I click on my phone. And if I'm curious, I'd rather not click anything. You can be ambassadors to your own universe. You know, just say, slow down on that clicking, you know, you can take a look because anybody can say they're anyone whatsoever.